Welcome back. Today we're going to analyze the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas and look at the comparisons between the Grinch and Bigfoot or Sasquatch, also known or referred to as the Sabe people. Before we begin, please like and subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts down below. Alright, here we go. In a small, isolated mountain town is the setting of the story. The adults are brainwashed with consumerism. Meanwhile, Cindy Lou is asking if maybe this is a bit much, as in pointless bullshit. You can always rely on the innocent honesty of a child. The Who's act very much like Americans on Black Friday, stampeding out of fear to not miss out on saving money, acting like ruthless animals. Up on the mountain, young high school kids are up to no good, exploring near the Grinch's territory, because they think the Grinch is a joke. They think the Grinch is just a fable. They begin joking around about local lore. Bigfoot have systems and advanced technology to notify them of intruders. Men do stupid shit to impress women. Bigfoot often uses some loud sound or projection to scare away intruders from their nest or inner earth entrances. The onion bite and subsequent rub on skin is a reference to the horrible smell often described in encounters. The Grinch goes into town and begins to do mischievous things, has a teenage punk level sense of humor, even jeopardizes the safety of children. Cindy, the child, brings up the fact that what everyone is doing is unnecessary and is questioning why they do it. Before she can get an answer, she is interrupted by her brother, saying that they just had an encounter with Sasquatch, or the Grinch. Everybody freezes in fear. Immediately, the authorities and governing bodies want to silence any talk of monsters that could disrupt commerce by making people afraid. And if they're afraid, they won't spend money. So the authorities talk to the people, quote-unquote, under their wing, and manage to reverse what has been said to the public to resume commerce, just like in real life.
Well, that's a relief. All right! You heard the man. There's no Grinch problem here.
The post office sign looks like a uterus. I have nothing to say about it, just pointing it out. Cindy asks her father why people don't openly talk about the Grinch or Sasquatch. Her father says that he is more of a what or a thing. Simply put, he's unable to relate. Then the scene changes to the back of the post office, where we see the Grinch going back to being mischievous. When Cindy goes to the sorting room, her first impressions of human Bigfoot interaction are one of shock and disbelief. Cindy falls into the sorter, and the Grinch is easily able to save her. Bigfoot has incredible strength. The Grinch distracts the child before making his escape. He puts on his disguise, which is just a mask. It shows how nobody pays attention enough to notice you're wearing one. When Cindy's father finds her in the sorting room, and she tries to tell him about what happened, they're not even sure if they'll be believed, so they don't say anything. Cindy begins to think to herself, maybe not all Bigfoot are bad. Maybe some are good. When Cindy and her father arrive home, we see another example of vanity. Her mother wants to be positively gossiped about. She's working so hard for something that does not matter in the slightest. We see that the Grinch or Bigfoot live where we deposit our waste, as to be able to eat for free. Then as the scenes progress, Cindy sings a song that concludes with asking the question, has Christmas changed or just me? As in, does Christmas change for us as adults? And is it better or just simpler when we're kids? When we don't have any responsibilities? When we wake up on that early Christmas morning and we rush downstairs to open all of our presents? And to be in the company of our parents? It really makes you think. Sasquatch have access to subterranean layers with advanced technology. This place is also referred to as Inner Earth or Hollow Earth. Another name this place goes by is Edidorfa, which is Aphrodite spelled backwards. Aphrodite is the ancient Greek goddess of love and beauty. So I don't think it's a coincidence that alchemists and Masonic scholars refer to this place with such a specific name. Due to their teenage punk level sense of humor, the Grinch is loving the idea that he scarred Cindy, the child, for life, projecting fear onto her. However, he did understand and was impressed that she did not snitch on him, which would bring more attention to him and his lair. This is the last thing the Sabe people want. A few characteristics of the humanoid Sasquatch. 1. Easily able to outsmart animals, specifically dogs. 2. The Sasquatch have a rancid smell about them, which leads to attracting other tiny creatures and small critters. Think bacteria, lice, mites, and other type of parasites that thrive on fur. 3. Has to resort to eating many less than desirable sources of food for sustenance. 4. Bigfoot likes to be entertained as well. However, they do it with just sound and in a simpler, solo kind of way. Cindy goes into town to learn more about the Grinch and how he ended up isolated away from everyone else. What happened that he became an outcast feared by all of the citizens in Whoville? As the interview begins, there's a few things we can notice. 1. Umbrella colors are blue and white, which means royalty. Where are these babies or gifts coming from? They're almost literally just being deposited like a consumer item dropped off from Amazon. Reminds me of the stork. The gifts coming from the sky really is like a eugenics-style government which allows the population to reproduce. So So, for example, with this one guy, he's waiting for his baby to arrive, and when it did, it wasn't even his DNA. He got cucked. So, therefore, he is unfit to pass on his genes as per the governing authority. But his wife's boss, or a wealthy, powerful man that contributes to society, pays taxes, and creates jobs, is allowed to reproduce. The Grinch gets stuck outside in the tree all night in the cold. A normal child would die. However, these humanoids have the physical endurance to handle any climate. Even his foster parents call him a whatever when it came to describing what the Grinch was. As the Grinch aged, being physically different was challenging. He was often alienated to the corner of the room to indulge in his own personal fantasies of mayhem. Bigfoot has an interest in human women, subtly hinting at encouraging the interbreeding of humanoids. Martha mentions she isn't attracted to the Bigfoot humanoid, which is not a question, so I think she is. The Grinch, like many men, is going out of his way to create a gift for his crush. He wants to be noticed by her. He even goes so far as to shave in order to attempt to assimilate and fit in with other humans. Finally, when people go on to describe their personal encounters with Bigfoot, some are pleasant and some are not. Some stories talk of younger Sabe having temper tantrums and violent outbursts. Again, like a teenager. The Grinch begins the scene by going off a list of people he hates, then proceeds to let out a roar that scatters the birds. Hey, The roar of a Sasquatch is said to be paralyzing. He concludes the dialogue and tells the dog to get him a sedative. That's probably how a lot of us are feeling around the holidays. Cindy is holding the Book of Who upside down, and so it can be read as the Book of Om, or the Almighty Frequency. Cindy's mother goes so far as to remove a traffic light to increase her status, thus endangering others. When asked who should be acknowledged as the holiday cheermeister and a member of another species outside of our own is suggested, we immediately become apprehensive. The scene is reminiscent of someone challenging the reign of the church and proving the Bible extends to other species, or the Book of Who in this case. The fact the mayor could lose control terrifies. Even when we allow the other species into our lives, they won't accept the offer. They would prefer to be left alone and live by themselves. Bigfoot likes peace and quiet, but instead of listening to humans make noise, they make their own noise to drown it out. Cindy Lou enters Bigfoot's lair and confronts the Grinch. He tries several times to scare her before just yelling at her. Only the yelling part is realistic. If they don't want you there, you won't get near them. Notice the speed the Grinch has. Sasquatch is said to glide quickly and effortlessly across all types of terrain. This movie came out in 2000, which is more than enough time to brainwash an entire generation into becoming familiar with a bipedal, hairy humanoid in the mountains, friendly to kids. Cindy tells the Grinch that the mayor, or the governing body, was unhappy about the decision, but that the female human would be in attendance. This gets the Grinch interested. Martha May, Eminem, Sideways, it's 33. Every time the camera pans to and stays on the Grinch, he has 3 sources of light behind or around him the entire time. The Sabe people are an enlightened race of people.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Martha, baby, but the G-Train has left the station!
Here he says the G-Train, or the Masonic train. The Grinch majestically removes the cloth from the table, but likes to make noise and express their power as well. They encompass both the yin and the yang aspects of reality, able to be soft and smooth and hard and aggressive. Do people, the audience, ever stop to ponder what they're actually watching? This is the Wild Man, also known as the Sasquatch or the Sabe people. You can find out more through the resources I'll provide in the description down below. Since the humanoid was unable to attend, let's just have our head of government get recognition. How convenient. The Grinch enters the scene and ends up landing on Martha's breasts. Male Sasquatch like human females. You can see the double W or M or the 33 on the pillars. The masses of people has a collective reaction of horror when they look at the Grinch. This is accurate as to how modern people react to the sight of such beings. The mayor tries to approach and gets hit with fear, freezing him in place momentarily. Almost jokingly, the Grinch is seeking reparations, as though he's lost something. Maybe perhaps his forest, his home, the wilderness. The Grinch grunts in disdain or disgust when the mayor brings up his family. The town dresses the Sabe and has a massive feast for him and for the town. They love music, food, and fun. The games are meant to bond the races together. The event is meant to share culture. The Grinch, or Bigfoot, shows overt interest in Martha May. The Grinch is presented with the gift of a Christmas shave, or an offer for the Bigfoot to come live among us humans and be civilized. Shave off his hair. What makes him him. What makes Bigfoot Bigfoot. Then, the mayor proposes to Martha in front of everyone. He bribes her with money and gifts in order to get into her pants. He is a mega simp. He believes money can buy love, but the best part is when he gets rejected. The Grinch brings up the point that Christmas is all about gifts that eventually always end up in the garbage. The Grinch even addresses how animals are disposable commodities.
Look, I don't want to make waves. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's always been about. Gifts. Gifts. Gifts, 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 gifts. You want to know what happens to your gifts? They all come to me. In your garbage. You see what I'm saying? In your garbage. And the avarice.
The avarice never ends!
I want golf clubs, I want diamonds, I want a pony so I can ride it twice, get bored, and sell it to make glue!
Here, you can see he's holding the star upside down, making the pentagram. The Grinch acts inappropriate, then everyone loses their minds. You see the triple X on the mug, or the jackpot? Maybe it's a reference for inappropriate actions that he's about to take. He sets the tree on fire, and the star falls. Fallen angel reference. Here with Martha, you see the W, or M upside down in the background. You can notice Augustus, the mayor, is wearing an 8-pointed star. Even leaders sometimes don't know what to do. Here you can see it's the blind leading the blind. Then the Grinch makes jokes about interspecies discrimination. So here you can see a shrunk version of if we were to have an encounter with an apex alpha male of the Sabe race. Here he sits on the car. You can see that Bigfoot has no problem causing havoc among men and women, but when it comes to children, they have a heart. The mayor and the rest of the people are standing on the ash from the tree. No matter what event happens, life goes on. The people decide maybe species should celebrate with their own kind. The Sasquatch behaviors and sense of humor most closely reflect a punk high school kid. His actions of mischief are funny to himself. Before the Grinch returns to his territory, he sees the people just carrying on as though nothing happened. Humans are relentless. Finally, the trash chute the Grinch uses could be a metaphor for returning to inner Earth, or a quick way for him to return home. Sasquatch exists in the woods away from people and peace and quiet. Can't stand loud campers. Is upset how much people eat, maybe out of jealousy. He poses as a mermaid, fish doing the worm briefly. The flower on his shoulder strap symbolizes how Bigfoot is a humanoid able to live in harmony with nature, able to bend down trees with ease and in a way as to not break them. Max gets a Santa beard from being tossed out into the snow, and the Grinch dresses as and pretends to be a human, more or less. I don't think we ever stop to pause and or think what we're actually looking at. This is a Hollywood version of a Bigfoot, and it's fairly accurate. The Grinch thinks if he dresses like the Who's popular holiday figure, that he'll be less noticed and able to blend in. The mirrors show the Grinch's reflection. In this example, they symbolize the enlightened psyche of the Sasquatch, further showing us the level of spiritual mastery they have. Some symbols happen almost simultaneously. Red and white occult sacrificial colors of Santa, the single eye in the mirror, as above so below triangle the Grinch makes with his hand. The Mr. Grinch song can be attributed to the wild man, Bigfoot humanoid in general, blinded in the right eye, Antichrist reference, gets by from either eating human garbage or foraging some type of wild food, able to create things like tech from old junk, has the Omega symbol, Alpha and Omega, first and last, one eye symbolism. The Grinch is elevated above everything else, with the pyramid above him. The Grinch descends in his sleigh from the mountain. I've heard people say Bigfoot interacts with greys often. Are they borrowing a UFO here to abduct the food? Do they use them for basic transport and travel? Do they have access to them? Ignore a noise of being robbed when there's a possibility of free stuff. Ignorance is bliss. Bigfoot are able to maneuver around without leaving a trace if they choose to. The Grinch took all of the gifts and the food. Also ate a lot of the food on the spot. Sabe are able to alter their vocal cords and imitate humans. Bigfoot can't be trusted. In the sense they will mess with you because you don't know the laws of the universe. If you don't assert yourself in a confrontation, they'll take advantage of you. The strength displayed shows typical Sabe power. Can infiltrate our dreams to some degree as well. Mischievous behavior. What's yours is theirs. They take whatever they want whenever they want. So notice the M on Augustus's the mayor's robe. It takes a man to stand up and to realize what truly is important in life. Family. The only people that matter are the ones you love. The people in Whoville rejoice, even without material presents and luxurious goods. The Grinch jumps and slides around frost-covered mountaintops with ease. Bigfoot has no problem navigating difficult terrain. The Grinch achieves enlightenment because enlightenment is just a realization. I also think this is a double metaphor of understanding what matters in the Matrix, your personal relationships, and overcoming the need of monetary gain. Let's celebrate, but not too much. The Grinch is going to let the presents get destroyed, but when the life of a child is in danger, the brute strength of the Sabe comes out. The Bigfoot returns and greets the people now that they understand and have come to the realization of what truly matters. The people have reached enlightenment. The Bigfoot takes interest in the female humanoid. Here's a hint at interspecies breeding. Finally, the people and the Bigfoot unite over the universal language, music. Since humans have now achieved a higher vibrational state, we are allowed into inner earth. And that will be it for this analysis, guys. If you enjoyed, please like the video and leave a comment down below. Also, if you're new here, please sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.